In New York, a new budget proposal is quietly setting the stage for something much bigger than regulating 3D printed guns. What's being proposed isn't just about printed weapons. It's about turning 3D printers into monitor devices, requiring software that scans every single design before it's created. Now, supporters say this is about public safety and protecting the children, but critics argue that it's a direct threat to privacy, innovation, and even free speech. Because this proposal doesn't just target criminals, it could impact researchers, journalists, hobbyists, and anyone experimenting with digital manufacturing using 3D printing. So today we're talking about New York's controversial move against 3D printing, why it matters far beyond one state, and what it signals for the future of user-controlled technology. And joining me for this conversation, who probably has some opinions, Kevin Tackett.
As to opinions, no, I don't have any. I have zero.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. See you next week. Yeah. Okay. So one, I want to, and I'm going to say, I'm being pedantic. I want to throw out there, this is not a 3D printer problem. Because
That's right.
It also mentions CNC machines, which a lot of people think of CNC machines as these huge industrial things. I'm going in my garage right now, right? Like CNCs have become consumer device, just like 3D printers. And what we're talking about is controlling what people can do in their own home with their own devices. And we're controlling commerce because, there's a clause that says that if you're selling a 3D printer or a CNC machine or parts of either, you have to do it face to face, which is one. Show me ID when you want to buy something.
So stupid.
And I have so many things I want to rant about here. Like right off the bat, let me ask a question. It's a budget.
Yeah.
Why are we sneaking into a budget, which enables the jackhole politicians to say, well, if we have to negotiate this, it's going to prevent us from paying for welfare or people who need it, and so you're just being unreasonable over printers, right? I've also had people like that irritates the piss out of me. I really believe that any effort, even if I support the effort that they're trying to, any effort that says let's slide this into a bill or rule that has nothing to do with this thing, it's slimy, scuzzy, and everybody involved should be slapped in the face. I personally believe, and I know that this is wrong, and I'm not issuing a threat for, the people listening. I personally believe that if you're a politician passing a law that is asinine, we should be allowed to punch you in the throat. Just one time, if you vote yes for something that is just downright slimy, as you walk out of whatever building you voted in, there should be a selected throat puncher. And just done. You get this thing.
I like this. Yeah.
Constitutional. Let's ignore slimy. It's unconstitutional. This is limiting speech. The courts have upheld that idea. What is it? Colorado had a law like this thrown out.
Yeah.
It's unconstitutional. If you are violating the Constitution, the result of that is one throat punch delivered by somebody who punches really hard. And I don't know how we judge that, right? I've had some people compare this to copiers and printers. Have you tried to copy a dollar bill, a $20 bill, whatever? You go.
it won't work, right?
Won't do it. Won't do it. And I've had people compare this to that, like, oh, hey, we were okay with that. One, I'm not okay with that. Two, that's a very different thing. And what I mean by that is not, oh, well, it's money. I mean it as in a currency is a very identifiable thing. It is really easy to look at a $20 bill and look at a graphic and see if it is a $20 bill. It is not that easy to say, is this a piece of a gun, right?
That's correct.
Because I'll tell you, as somebody who, while inactive, is still a member of the 501st, I have a replica machine gun in my office. It's made out of resin. It's right, plastic,
Yeah.
but the pieces of it are the same as a German machine gun from World War II. And I'm blanking on the model machine gun. It's a Stormtrooper's E11,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to 3D print that under this rule.
And yours doesn't actually fire bullets either.
No, it can't do a damn thing.
Right.
It's a
Exactly.
plastic tube. Exactly. That's no, but it is the pieces of a weapon, right?
Yeah.
Like the E11 during A New Hope was built off of, I'm totally blanking on the machine gun. It's a German machine gun from World War II. And they took the machine gun and they added some pieces to make it sci-fi. And right. So what you're telling me is to protect the kids, I can't build a costume to go visit kids in the hospital.
Right. And there's no exceptions either, apparently.
No. And how do you determine, okay, so I do woodworking. We all know that. I make pens, I make furniture, I do this kind of stuff. One of the things I do is knife handles.
Yeah.
I also do grips for guns.
Yeah.
I have a person, I'm going to just leave it at that, who has a rifle that they would like the grips routed out better and things like this. And so I'm going to do it for them because I can.
Yeah.
I'm not helping them create a ghost gun.
No.
Right.
And by the way, this also applies to CNC machine sellers as well.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like the parts, if you're selling the parts of a 3D printer or a CNC, okay, do you know what the part of a CNC is? A Makita handheld router. So does that mean I can't buy a handheld router without?
Apparently not. Not in New York anymore. If this passes next week. Yeah.
Wait, do you know what else is a part of a CNC machine in a 3D printer?
Do tell me.
Am I not allowed to buy cooling fans? Because according to the rule, I can't buy the parts of a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Where's the limit? Where's the list? Where's the? This is the epitome of I'm a jackhole politician that wants to be seen to be doing something that has been proven time and time again is not actually that serious of a risk. This is not, the Second Amendment. This is a true, show me the rampant killing happening.
With 3D printed guns.
With 3D printed guns. Like
we have a problem with just regular guns.
Right.
Like every single mass shooting, I think that's been happening in the US, like I would say 99% of them are with regular guns if somebody bought at a gun store.
We'd go with 99.99999%. My understanding is not a single mass shooting has happened with a 3D printed gun. My understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, please.
Maybe a couple cases, but
I'm not aware of any cases where a mass shooting has been happened with a 3D printed gun. There have been shootings.
Yes, with 3D print.
Mm-hmm. Right? Absolutely. That is true, but not mass shootings. My understanding is no child has been shot by a 3D printed gun. Right? And again, I'm not saying that makes it okay.
No, definitely.
I'm saying we can't do something that affects the ability for anybody who's involved with 3D printing. Keep in mind that being involved in 3D printing does not mean that you own a 3D printer. It means that you went to an art show and bought the cool, flexible dragon that sits on your shoulder.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. It means that, we've talked about this here before. You live in Florida and you want to go watch porn. Sorry, can't do it. Now we're going to have a situation where if you live in New York and you want to download an STL, nope, sorry, can't do it. Because as a seller of an STL, I don't want the liability because the liability goes in both directions.
Absolutely.
Right? This is such a wild overreach for a problem that bluntly is already solved. We already have laws in the book. If you have a 3D printed gun and you shoot somebody, you've broken the law.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
It does not matter. And yes, I'm aware, somebody had to be shot before we enforced it. That's called committing a crime.
which is happening every day anyway with real guns. So, I mean,
This goes back to, I have zero problem with gun control. And I am a hardcore Second Amendment supporter. We all know that, right? I have zero problem with gun control. But show me gun control that actually moves the needle. And I'm not even, notice I didn't say solves the problem. I don't
Right.
believe we can solve the problem. I
I
don't
agree.
believe, right? We are not going to have a solution that just, oh man, hey, this is really cool. Nobody is getting hurt. I'd love it if we could, right? If you could show me where me giving up every gun I hypothetically own would solve a problem, I'd be first in line. I would. Here you go. Here's every weapon I own, hypothetically, right? I have no issue with that. But telling me that my CNC machine, which by the way, under this law would be illegal for me to possess,
That's right.
because if I lived in New York, right? My CNC machine has no capability to verify whether or not I'm allowed to produce them. My CNC machine has zero capability to call out. It's not on the internet. It's not on my network. It does not deal with that. I have to plug into it to do something with it, right? It doesn't have the capability, which means you're going to have to put it in the software I run, which by the way means you have to give government access to my laptop.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
And unfortunately, this vote is actually happening next week. So, you know, by the time you listen to this episode or watch this on YouTube, that vote may already be, you know, taken place, or, and that's why the EFF has posted, you know, kind of a call to action for people. If you're living in New York, you need to call your representative. You need to take action, because this is a very, very serious thing. And just like we see with all these other bills, like we saw with the big beautiful bill and all this other stuff, they bury these surveillance, anti-privacy types of legislation deep into these things, where even a lot of legislators don't even see it themselves until organizations like the EFF and other advocates call these things out of like, hey guys, this is very dangerous for people's privacy and surveillance and all these things. So these are scary times we're living in, where, you know, politicians that don't necessarily have the best intentions, I think, they're only thinking of this from one perspective, bury these things in these bills. And
if they're thinking about it at all, my experience talking with many politicians is they're focused on the things they're focused on. And, you know, what was it Nancy Pelosi said? You know, we won't know until the bill is signed, what's in the bill. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. And I understand what she was trying to get across, right? Like that there's the negotiations and everything else like that, but it's bad on its face, right? I've had this conversation about, you know, the Florida government. We have politicians that are passing laws that they know are unconstitutional. They know that when ultimately somebody sues, it will cost the state taxpayers tons and tons of money to fight the lawsuit, and they will lose. They know what they're passing is unconstitutional, and yet they're doing it so that they've got a checkbox where, you know, and I don't care what side the politician is on, they want to be able to say, look, I did something. And then those horrible other people fought in court, and the activist judges overthrew our good faith attempt to fix something. BS. Y'all jackholes. And you're putting forward stuff, and some idiot puts this in a bill. Yeah, it's bad.
Unbelievable.
And it's not just my opinion, right?
No.
Colorado had the law thrown out because of First Amendment. I think it was Colorado.
Yeah. So we will keep everybody updated to see, you know, when we record next week's episode, to kind of see where this landed, and hopefully landed by not getting passed or stripped out or something. That is the hope. But scary times we're living in when we see things like this, you know, trying to ban 3D printing and just things that are, you know, just completely ridiculous. And this is the world we live in these days. So, but I think that's all we have time for today. So Kevin, thank you as always for your unbiased opinion, which is important, right? We need to talk about these things, and people need to know about this, and what's really happening, and what our legislators are trying to pull.
We need to pay attention
without us seeing, right?
Ouch.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Do all the YouTube things. It'd be much appreciated. And until next time, stay safe, stay secure, and stay private. Thank you for listening or watching. If you liked this episode, hit subscribe, share it with your friends and colleagues, or jump into our community at sharedsecurity.net/supporter to keep the conversation going. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Shared Security.